and helps your knowledge grow. From the headlines trending to the questions on your mind, the things we talk about, the truth we have to find. No surface whispers here, we dig down to the core, preparing you for living and so much more. It's topics and reality. Yeah, your Saturday afternoon talk show. We capture the topic, get the facts, and make the understanding grow. Oh, topics and reality, with the experts in the studio light, bringing the complex down to earth to make your life feel right, bringing you closer to your reality. Yeah. We bring in the best minds, the voices you can trust, to treat the topic fairly and shake away the dust. No theory in a textbook, just application clear, taking the subjects that you care about and calming every fear. From the headlines trending to the questions on your mind, the things we talk about, the truth we have to find. No surface whispers here, we dig down to the core, preparing you for living and so much more. These topics and reality. Yeah. Your Saturday afternoon talk show. We capture the topic, get the facts, and make the understanding grow. Topics and reality, with the experts in the studio light, bringing the complex down to earth to make your life feel right, bringing you closer to your reality. This is Royal FM, the home of conversation deep, where the seed of knowledge is planted and the promises we keep. Tune in, lean in, listen close. What you learn here today will be the guiding light you need to walk a better way. Topics and reality, every Saturday afternoon. Royal 88.4 FM, bringing you closer to your reality. Yeah.
They say that light is the first requirement of development. Yet, for decades, our progress has been measured in the hum of generators and the silence of a dark neighborhood. For 20 years, we live in the era of a partnership of hope that for many ended in a cycle of debt and load schedule. But as of May the 4th, 2026, the script has changed. The banner have been replaced. The state has taken the wheel. Sokadel is born. But the question we are asking today isn't about the new name on the billboard. It is about the reality in our socket. It is a genuine spark of sovereignty. Or are we just changing the label of a broken machine? Topics and realities today go beyond the headline of the changing. We are asking the question about debt, wooden poles, and the price of power. We are looking at the economic, asking the question, can a state-run an enterprise truly light up the nation where private entities have failed? Good afternoon, blessed people of radio, listeners of topics and realities. This is Royal 88.4 FM. We are live from the Thompson studio of Royal 88.4, and this is Topics and Realities. The team keeping you company this afternoon, we have Ulrich Kemwe. He is our sound engineer, our copyright clerk. We have Bida Brian, who is our video editor on our YouTube page, Royal FM Cameroon. We have Boris Landrin and his entire team working endlessly on our Facebook page because they are our community manager at Royal FM Cameroon. Topics and Reality is a production of the English service of Royal 88.4 FM with production assistant coming from Mapala Zita under the coordination of our own Director General, Roger Kiek. Call me the moderator. My name is Abel Bella Samari. The General Supervisor of this program is Reverend Pastor Bisa Emmanuel Noel. And each time you get this generic, we are talking about the Mutual Assistance and Solidarity MASSO, which, as we are preparing Act 6 of the raffle draw ceremony that will take place at the Ahmadu Ahijo Stadium, it will be an opportunity to celebrate 6 years of the Mutual Assistance and Solidarity MASSO, a product of Renapo Finance SA that had that mission to remove man from the shackle of poverty. We keep on saying that because that is what MASSO has been able to do for the past 5 years. And when, just to let you know that with your 100 francs daily contribution to have 26,000 francs, you have that possibility for you to become a member of the Mutual Assistance and Solidarity, benefit from the advantages that are both primary and secondary. The secondary advantages is what will happen at the Ahmadu Ahijo Stadium, where we'll have finances of different projects, especially those of the informal sector, those who are the managers of the no-nonsense economy, those who have that difficulty for them to be able to have bank loan, those who have that difficulties for them to be able to raise capital to start any form of business. And you know, the Mutual Assistance and Solidarity must have that mission to be able to wipe that ideology where somebody will say, I do nothing, I sit in the house for doing nothing. No, you can start even a small scale business. You can start any type of business, even with 100,000 francs CFA, even right up to 2 million francs CFA. That is why on the 4th of July 2026, we are going to have finances of different projects that will run from 100,000 francs to 2 million. We are also going to have the possibility of mutualists benefiting from what we call the MASSO Boost Academic, which is an innovation that is coming in this year for us to be able to give opportunity and train one of the finest brains in Cameroon. And that is why MASSO have thought it wise to be able to give equal opportunity to all our children, especially those who find it very difficult to go to the university. And through the MASSO Boost Academic, that is MASSO Scholarship Award that is being given to mutualists, they have that possibility after having their GCE advanced level as well as their baccalaureate examination to go into the Bisai University Institute, where they can pick up a trade, where they can learn a particular subject for them to be able to become actors in the economic domain. And this will be done throughout the program. If the child is going in for a bachelor's program, that is 3 years, the scholarship from the MASSO Scholarship Award will give them that possibility for them to carry out an entire study without paying a franc. That is what we talk about, the solidarity spirit. That is what we talk about, the assistance spirit, a spirit that is unique to Africans. Because when you look at Africans, we have that solidarity aspect within us. And that is what we say with the Mutual Assistance and Solidarity. You stand that possibility to benefit from these advantages. We equally have the MASSO Health Guarantee that is being given out to the tune of 1 million francs CFA to all mutualists for them to be able to start in good health. You know, generally we always say that health is wealth, and that is what MASSO is thinking about. But that does not stop you from benefiting from the natural advantages, which we have been saying each year. And that is why we say that if you have been contributing your 100 francs daily, at this point in time, you should be at, since we are on the 9th of May, 2026, you should be at 22,500 francs CFA, meaning that you are just left with 5,500 francs CFA, and we have just 51 days to the end of registration and contribution into the Mutual Assistance and Solidarity. Within 51 days, you can still raise the 26,000 francs CFA. If we are just giving 1,000 francs CFA, you see that you can still meet up the deadline on the 29th of June, where we put an end at 4 p.m. to the registration and contribution into the Mutual Assistance and Solidarity. And that is why we say that with the MASSO, you have that possibility for you to be able to put a smile to your different business. For those who want to register into the Mutual Assistance and Solidarity, first stop is here at the Radio House, Royal FM. It's situated at Mimboman. We are just opposite the Firefighters Brigade Fee in Mimboman, a popular area that you cannot hide yourself. Or you go to any of our agencies. We have 29 of those agencies across the country. We have 14 of them in the capital city. When they go to any Renapo Finance SA agencies, you can register yourself into the Mutual Assistance and Solidarity. You have that possibility for you to become member. We have our registration and contribution points that are being located across the city of Yaoundé. We have That's of the former Royal FM at Kame. You go there, you can equally register into the Mutual Assistance and Solidarity. You just go to that Kame building, the former Royal FM building. You find Mr. Njimo Zali, Eric, who is also a photographer. Is at that point, you have that possibility to register into the Mutual Assistance and Solidarity. The number is 697 578790. We have Mr. Sowa Thierry, who is around the Carrefour and Gisa neighborhood here in Yaoundé. His telephone number is 690294575. This is another registration and contribution point of the Mutual Assistance and Solidarity. We have the Etablissement Tato, which you can equally register into the Mutual Assistance and Solidarity. They are located around the Ministry of Secondary Education, just at the entrance of the Ministry of Basic Education. You find the Etablissement Tato there. The number is 670-282926. That give you that another possibility for you to register into the Mutual Assistance and Solidarity. We have the Point Canada, which is situated between the Fulan Hospital and the divisional officers office at Fulan. There you have Madame Nomo Flavie. You can register into the Mutual Assistance and Solidarity through that spot. The number is 698142844. That possibility is equally there. We have the DD Aero Services, which is also another registration point. They are situated around the Supermarché Casino here in Yaoundé. You have that possibility to register. Their number is 697-272122, 654-998584. Those are some of our registration and contribution points of the Mutual Assistance and Solidarity. We just need to tell you that the registration and contribution ends on the 29th of June. But just to take this announcement, which is coming from Renapro Finance, which is telling all those who are engaged into transport, that is the different taxi drivers around the city of Yaoundé, that we have a lot of vehicles in our garage, and these vehicles just need rehabilitation. These vehicles are taxis and those of the interurban taxis. If you are interested and you are a member of the Mutual Assistance and Solidarity, if you have completed your 26,000 francs CFA, there is that possibility that one of those vehicles can be arranged and handed over to you. You just need to write an application addressed to the Administrative Director General of Renapro Finance SA. You photocopy your national identity card. You equally photocopy your card to show that you are a valid member of the Mutual Assistance and Solidarity. You deposit at the Pour Gestion office, which is situated at the Mamu Hospital Complex, or precisely where we call the Gulzamba neighborhood along the Kwabang Mimboman neighborhood. So there you can have that possibility. We are talking about reserve vehicles that need just to arrange one or two things. So if you are interested, do that. If you have any difficulties, you can call meet us here at the Radio House. We can direct you on how you can be in possession of these vehicles that the Mutual Assistance and Solidarity is offering to you all.
Renapro offers Masso. Renapro offre Masso.
Je suis enseignante de formation, mais j'opère beaucoup plus dans la fossiculture. Je suis vraiment comblée parce que ce chèque arrive à pic, parce que j'étais vraiment dans le besoin.
Je suis contente. Merci beaucoup au Seigneur parce que grâce à lui, j'ai eu ça.
Je suis tolé de profession et commerçant. C'était vraiment un rêve pour moi, je ne m'y attendais pas.
Je suis vraiment très content de Renapro parce que ce financement va me permettre de réaliser mon projet d'élevage de poulets et de porcs.
Et si ta solution venait de Masso, acte 6, rapproche-toi de nos différentes agences et points de souscription Masso pour souscription et cotisation et saisis cette opportunité le 4 juillet 2026 dès 7h au stade Omnisport à Madou Aïdjo de Yaoundé et tu seras certainement l'heureux bénéficiaire de l'une des offres. À la Masso, vivons simplement nos valeurs africaines. Renapro offers Masso.
I see joy, I see tears of joy, and I see how somebody has suffered.
As I've won today, I really appreciate this offer.
I want to thank Maso for that because at the onset I was really skeptical about it and I was scared. I was just saying that this is all fake, but today is a confirmation that it is not a fake news, it is actually right, because I just had the opportunity of winning the sum of 1 million francs.
I just won 750,000.
Act 6 have already started. I will register for Act 6. I subscribe for the villa.
And what if your solution comes from Maso Axis? Rush to any Renapro Finance SA agency and Maso registration points for your registration and contribution. Grab the opportunities offered by the July 4, 2026 event, which starts from 7 a.m. at the Amadou Aye Stadium in Yaoundé, and be one of the lucky winners of the different offers. At Maso, we simply live our African values.
Mingunda aswinia amani swimmer tanga sumorus e momo mvanu moni 1% l'homme transfert on cause bien mi fetila to douala pour 326 jazz ngaki application momo.
Topics and Realities, a 2-hour debate program on Royal FM. Topics and Realities, every Saturday on Royal FM, a weekly program brought to you by the English desk of Royal FM.
Fellow countrymen, since we have had to grapple with those evil vices like corruption, nepotism, tribalism, and inordinate ambitions in our polity. We must change the things which consistently underdevelop our country. We must change our psyche. Now is the time for us to combine our efforts as a nation. To achieve this noble objective, we have to rise above our differences, to wipe out fraud, bribery, inflation of contracts, vandalization of power lines, and those who are willing collaborators by virtue of their positions in government. Lastly, it is good to be ambitious, but inordinate ambition breeds corruption, treachery, and unpatriotic tendencies in us. Rather, our ambition should be to move our country forward. Merit should come first. Mediocrity must be a practice of the past. Let us all strive to be the best in all what we do. From henceforth, employments and contracts are on the basis of merit and not on the basis of who knows who or godfatherism.
And thank you so very much, Erich Kemwe. We now move over to Jeffrey Tatum, who has been collecting what is making news in Cameroon throughout this week in what we call the press review of topics and realities. Good afternoon to you, Jeffrey.
Good afternoon, Abel. Good afternoon to your panelists and good afternoon to Royal FM listeners. Welcome to a new edition of What's Making News in Cameroon. We begin with Cameroon Tribune, which focuses on the national security ahead of the National Day celebrations. The paper reports that an interministerial meeting chaired by Prime Minister Joseph John Ngute concluded that the country's security situation remains under control, but citizens are urged to stay vigilant to ensure peaceful festivities nationwide. The National Gazette also focuses on the security cooperation between Cameroon and the United States. The newspaper reports that Paul Biya held talks with the Deputy Commander of AFRICOM, General John William Brennan Jr. Discussions reportedly focused on maritime security in the Gulf of Guinea and the fight against terrorism in northern Cameroon. Meanwhile, The Voice newspaper leads with what it calls a dramatic political development. The paper announces the death of the Speaker of the National Assembly, Kavaye Yige Jibril, barely weeks after the passing of Senate President Marcel Nyat Njifenji. The newspaper says the back-to-back losses mark the end of a historic era in Cameroon's parliamentary leadership. Onto the media, attention is turned to international academic recognition. It reports the appointment of Cameroonian scholar Professor Sunmi Ayuk as Deputy Vice Chancellor of Botswana Open University. The paper also analyzes the appointment of Umaru Hamajoda as Pioneer General Manager of Socadel, describing it as a choice based on expertise and experience. Le Messager focuses on a land dispute in Yaoundé. Under the headline La Maxi crie au hold-up financier, the paper reports tensions between the Industrial Zones Development Mission and the Yaoundé City Council over ownership of land in the Yaoundé South Industrial Zone. Moving on to L'Oeil du Sahel, focus is being made on security concerns as the regional newspaper reports that a man was shot dead in Madingri while his wife and baby were kidnapped during an attack. The Horizon newspaper revisits the Anglophone crisis under the headline Biya urged to declare general amnesty. The paper publishes a passionate appeal calling on President Paul Biya to promote reconciliation after the recent papal visit. In another major story, the newspaper reports the arrest of 2 Sinomat officials accused of torturing a Cameroonian worker, a case condemned by Labour Minister Gregoire Owona. Meanwhile, the Guardian Post focuses on marginalization and possible Anglophone political mobilization. The newspaper highlights several prominent Anglophone personalities allegedly linked to a pressure group advocating for Anglophone interests. And finally, Emergence newspaper warns of worsening food insecurity threatening nearly 3 million Cameroonians and also relays concerns by the International Crisis Group over possible tensions surrounding succession debates in Cameroon. That was all for this edition of What's Making News in Cameroon. Thank you and see you next time, same hour, same frequency.
And thank you so very much, Jeffrey Tatum, for that press review. We come back to the studio as we have our guests who are already here with us. I begin with you, Jean-Baptiste. You are a member of the MP3 party. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Abel. Good afternoon to my co-panelists and to our thousands of listeners out there.
It's an honor for us to have you today again on the program Topics and Realities.
The honor is shared.
If I can ask, how is the MP3 faring?
The MP3 party is doing well, gradually positioning ourselves as a credible party for alternative in Cameroon.
Yeah.
Just recently, our national president installed the Federation Bureau of the Diaspora. It was in Paris last Saturday, where a good number of Cameroonians in the diaspora showed up, and they were installed, the bureau was installed, and they were given the task to implement.
Will the diaspora vote for the municipal legislative election?
Well, they might not be participating directly in the vote, but they can influence very much in the
especially given now the finances.
For example, supporting, they have a good audience when it comes to the social media and all that, and they have been doing that. They have been helping, and we thank them for that, giving us their support and helping the party even when they are overseas out there. And just next month, we shall be having the installation of the departmental administration of the party in the Fundi, where the national president is going to be there with some of the dignitaries of the party, and it will be an occasion for the people of Yaoundé to see those who are leading the party in the Fundi division. And all of you are invited.
Have you always called again Forest Zone?
The Forest Zone, yes. We know we are a party that advocates for federalism, and we have five micro federations.
So the Fundi is another Forest Zone?
The Fundi is within the Forest Zone.
Okay.
The Forest Zone is actually joining what we have today as the East region, the Center region, the South region.
Okay.
All of them are
so you are putting a permanent bureau
in the
Central region. Yes, thank you so very much for coming. But the week has been so pregnant with the information. I don't know. What caught your attention this week?
Yes, I will.
As reported from our press review.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm going to lay emphasis on what happened, unfortunately, with one of the Cameroonian workers in one of the industries in the
one of the supermarkets
owned by the Chinese, and we are really sad about what the conditions submitted to our
people say it's modern day slavery. Do you still buy that idea?
Unfortunately, and this is not an isolated
case. People say we are not
case.
respected in our own land.
This is not an isolated case. We have many Cameroonians being exploited. Especially, I would like to talk about some people are just discovering now the mining sector in the East region.
Yeah.
Some people, not Cameroonians anyway, non-Cameroonians are exploiting illegally our gold outside there, and they are submitting our own nationals under very harsh conditions and merely paid just enough to be able to feed themselves. And this also needs to be seen and need to be looked into by the Ministry of Works as well as the Ministry of Energy. I think we should look at that and make sure that Cameroon's sovereignty is being restored. It's quite unfortunate that if you keep on receiving gifts and donations from a country, sometimes you lose your sovereignty and your aptitude to say no when these kind of people...
Is it coming from the fact that we just received some bags of rice?
We might not
think that the bags of rice influence
we might not make a direct link.
Because that's what you are saying. We just know that the Chinese gave us rice.
But the Chinese have been giving us.
And a lot of people have been asking the question, where is this rice going to? Because we don't eat them.
We are still waiting for the rice of Oga.
I don't know.
We are still waiting for where the rice of Oga went to. What I'm saying right here is that we have been used to receiving gifts from outside. And so whenever these people who have been giving us some gifts tend to indulge in some malpractices, we are unable to really hit hard because our hands are tied. So we really call on kind of sovereignty, and you make sure that our dealings with the people from outside should be always for the best interest of Cameroonians and Cameroon at large.
I have a friend, Nelson Lambris, who has compiled some 5 documents that he wants to sue for the rice because he has never received his own rice, and they keep on saying that he's destined with the Cameroonian people.
But it's quite unfortunate.
But each time he comes up with this, he has a lot of blockage to be able to.
It's quite unfortunate that a country like Cameroon is still receiving gifts of rice. Meanwhile, we have agric lands, we can be able to be autosufficient in terms of agriculture, in terms of food, and just need to have a good policy and people who are really filled with patriotic spirit.
Jean-Baptiste, life is give and take. We wish that when they give, because we have seen Cameroon intervening in some situation in Equatorial Guinea, we have seen Cameroon intervening in some situation in Turkey. But the bone of contention is the fact that the Oka rice, we are just saying during the COVID-19, nobody ever saw it. And then this one is coming, nobody. We don't know whether at all we are going to eat. Thank you so very much. We invited you over for you to be able to talk about what concerns us, to get the position of your party. Looking at the change from Enu to Sokadel, the Cameroon Electricity Corporation. I heard some people are giving some new definition. Anyway, we'll be finding out. Thank you so very much for being with us today. And I move closer to you because he has declared himself honorable. He's just waiting that the election should be launched in Cameroon. And he's a member of the Popular Action Party. He's here with us today. Thank you so very much, Prof. That's how we always call him. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much, Mr. Abel. Good afternoon to my dear
panelists. I will ask you the same question. How is the Popular Action Party faring?
The Popular Action Party is faring good, and it's one of the most dynamic party, upcoming democratic party in Cameroon now, that believes in democracy, equity, and development. I believe most of the militants coming up now are conscious of why they are joining the party and their objectives of the party.
But this is a party that has challenged.
Yes, it's a party that has challenged, but I believe that is why we are bouncing back. We are bouncing back. We acknowledge the fact that we had challenges and we are bouncing back to take over the leadership of this country and bring the people closer to governance. That is why I want to use this opportunity to appreciate my Momo coordinators for the great work they are doing.
Wow.
We have an invasion that we are planning to take to Widikum during the 20th May, not because we want to celebrate 20th May, but because we want to make the people know that we have arrived. So the mobilization is going on. and I believe Willie Kum is going to feel the impact on 20 May of what.
Will you succeed? Will we have strong people?
No, we have strong people who have
ministers, we have the senators.
Yes, we accept the fact that we have strong people. We have strong people in Momo, but they have rubbed themselves with excretors, and now they are looking for ways to clean themselves. And as a result of that, we want to help them clean themselves by taking over and then redirecting them. Let them know where the direction they were supposed to take, that they missed it. So we are there now. We need to take over, school them, and tell that this is what you were supposed to do yet, and you failed the people. So it is not an easy task, but we know that the challenge will not be easy, but we are ready for it. And I want to encourage every Cameroonian out there who is listening to this program now that the time to complain is over. It is time for us to take the responsibility to change our country, because even as we see, even though we are coming to it, the postponement of the municipal elections,
I get it from the
postponement is an opportunity. They are telling us that.
You see it as an opportunity?
It is an opportunity they are giving us to advance. It is like they are telling us that you are not prepared well. We will let us give you more time to prepare. Because as they are quitting the stage,
some people say it's a strategy of the ruling party.
They are quitting the stage already, so they know that we have to take over. And they are giving us the opportunity to penetrate the suburbs. If they had declared it now, we would have been limited. But as they keep postponing, we keep penetrating. And by the day they will declare, by that is when Cameroon will be taken over by the young generation, and things are going to change in this country. So we thank them for keep postponing. Let them continue to postpone. Perhaps it is working for our good.
You are one of the politicians that will say we thank them for postponing.
We thank them for postponing. Yeah, let them postpone. You know that when they used to say, when you are pointing one finger at somebody, 3 others are pointing at you. So they might be using
the postponement is an advantage for you.
It is an advantage for us to better prepare financially, morally, physically, and even through mobilization. Because right now, even my brother who is from MP3 now, he can bear witness with me that he is able to have 5 council lists from 5 different municipalities as a result of this postponement, of which if they had organized the election in March that just passed, he would not be able to do that. I have been able to mobilize 3 council lists in Momo because as a result of the postponement. So I want to appreciate them very well for postponing, but the postponement should have limits. As the president has given a date, that is the 28th of March,
February?
28th of February, that date should be respected, because when I will quote from Shakespeare, that says, when power is long overdue, it becomes dangerous.
Thank you for coming.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you so very much, Fabrice Amashi, who always call the prof of politics. That's how they call him. The prof of politics is here with us today. Let me meet to my main man. Yes, he's a permanent person in the platform, a soft-spoken politician equally. And I say, Nathan, David, thank you for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Abel.
Do you see it in the same line?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Postponing municipal elections is an advantage to political parties.
It's really an advantage.
Better prepare?
Yeah, Mr. Abel, I think that is an advantage. But then I partially share the idea, but then I think that is a great advantage to an extent. Why? Because most of these opposition parties, they don't really have the financial support that they need.
Because the day you go to make your documents, the DOs and the SDOs will disappear from their office, and you have mobilized the field. What will become? Quality in this village. Quality, come on. It's a very nice thing.
Yeah, but I think that mobilizing the people already and preparing their mindset about them going in for you is going to handicap the power that be that wants to that keeps postponing things. So I think that even if they will not be in their offices, they will have it really difficult to rig things like they had the habit of doing.
Yes. I don't know what caught your attention this week as we put in the price review before we move to our main topic of discussion.
Yeah, Mr. Abel, I can just clearly say that it's just the change of Enio to Sokadeo that really caught my attention.
We'll be coming back to talk about it. Okay.
Oh, yeah. So I think that the question I've been asking myself ever since I had that information is, are we going to be living the same scenario that have been going on over the years of lights out constantly, because ever since this news came out, we've been having lights out here in Yaoundé 4 in the Fundi division almost for 2 weeks now. It has really been constant, and people are complaining about their electronics getting bad and all the rest. So I don't really know if it is a good news or it is a bad news, because before getting to NAO, we had Sonel.
Thank you. We'll go back, and I think that takes us to our main subject of discussion, coming from what our panelists just said. The creation of Cameroon Electricity Company, SOCADEL, on May the 4th, 2026 marks a historic pivot from decades of privatization back to full state control. This transition isn't just a change of the logo, it is a high-stake move by the government to stabilize a sector, drawing in a 800 billion francs CFA of debt and crumbling infrastructure. So the question I want to begin with you, gentlemen, I will first of all start with Jean-Baptiste, who is a member for the MP3 party. I know it is the role of every political party to do what? To be able to look into the governance of its people and to be able to come out on different ways of how the people live in the society. And one of these aspects that has actually affected the society in close to 20 years today, that's 2 decades, is the aspect of electricity and to an extent water in Cameroon. Electricity in Cameroon first was under the state, and the issue of privatization came in when it was first of all privatized to an American company which was called the AES Sonel, and later on it was privatized to a British company which became a new that is Cameroon Energy Company, and today they still have decided to buy it over to become SOCADEL. And our discussion, looking at this value gap, I want to talk with you, steal away the fine knowledge in economics, because maybe a lot of people don't know that apart from being a politician, you are also a good economist. When Sonel was privatized in 2021, critics argue that the assets were undervalued. Looking back, this just gave around $70 million of the assets of Sonel that were paid by its AES Sonel. That reflects the true values of the national grid of Sonel at that time. And one thing that really caught the attention of the people, who the critics hold up to today, is that during the Sonel period, Cameroon never witnessed what we call load shedding. Cameroon never witnessed what we call the cuttage of electricity. And Cameroon started witnessing this to the extent where a lot of people had to depend on generators today. A lot of companies, for them to be able to survive, have to develop from have to depend on generator or secondary source of energy. How do you evaluate this change from Sonel to AES Sonel to NAO, today back to the state called the SOCADEL? Do you see us also changing tomorrow to private individuals?
Thank you very much for that very pertinent question. Before I answer directly your question, I would like just to make this analysis. Do you know that Cameroon actually stands the second in terms of potential when it comes to the production of hydroelectricity in sub-Saharan Africa?
Somebody says our divisions in Cameroon carry the names of river.
Yes, and we have a high potential when it comes to the production of hydroelectricity. And we can even produce up to 12,000 megawatts yearly. So we have that potential. And it's quite unfortunate that the people have been managing this particular sector.
What is stopping us when we have this potential? Why are we not exploiting it?
I think the first problem is the lack of a vision. Having this kind of potential, you need to be positioning yourself to be able to supply not only home consumers, that is Cameroonians, but trying to project yourself out of the sub-region, that is thinking about neighboring countries. But it's quite unfortunate that we still create dams. We still create a good number of dams without thinking of how to actually evacuate the electricity being produced in those dams to the different industries or houses needing them. you spoke about the changes in terms of supply of electricity. Actually, it is correlated to the changes in terms of consumption. You know, we are a growing country, and we have seen recently, many industries being created, and these industries use a lot of electricity. We have seen many households being built, and obviously they make use of a lot of electricity. So there haven't been a plan actually accompanying this growth in demography, this industrialization, which is actually supported by a very, very strong electric system that comes with production of electricity, distribution of electricity, and the authentic and efficient commercialization of the electricity. So we can, in the MP3 party, we actually salute the act of nationalizing back this particular enterprise, and we're actually prone for sovereignty, and a country would like to grow. It's normal that we have energy sovereignty. But when we see the people who are appointed there, the profile, we are tempted to see that to say that in Socadel will only come to be another form of Eneo, because there is no substantial change, there is no vision. Many people have been saying it, and I'm tempted to say that they are not very far from the truth, because even the name lacks some vision. Socadel, in a country like Cameroon, we are trying to project ourselves. We are trying to project ourselves to the world. We don't aspire to be local. And I've seen a kind of I saw the logo. I hope, I really pray that is not the official logo of.
It is the official logo.
If it is, then it could be termed as a scandal, because in the 21st century we are actually bringing up an electric in the industry meant to supply electricity in the whole of Cameroon, and even thinking of exporting, and we bring a lamplight to be the logo of that. It's a lack of vision. I think we should rethink. It's a good idea to nationalize this particular industry, but we need to accompany it by visionary leaders. That will accompany by visionary leaders and managers who will be able to project the electricity industry, really first of all exploit the home potential of production of electricity, and be able to project our electricity not only to in domestic consumption, but also bring it to the sub-regions. And it is very possible if we have effective manager with right people at the right places.
64061-3842-671157321. Those are our numbers that we are going to be using, and the fundamental question that we are asking from Eneo to Socadel: what do you expect from this new electricity company? I want us to talk about governance and the identity crisis, Fabrice. But the question I want to ask you: does this shift from Eneo to Socadel represent a genuine structural reform, or is it merely political rebranding?
Well, I will start by saying that we have a very funny system of government in Cameroon.
How can you say
it is like this name that they give us, that Africa in miniature, is a curse to this country, Cameroon, because all the bad things that happens in all African countries happen in Cameroon, and as a result, it tends to dominate all the positive aspect that we are supposed to be benefiting. Changing the name from Eneo to Socadel, and then not defining the structural functioning of the body. When it was a private company, the Cameroonians suffered. We have people back home that could do illegal collections at will. We have the workers that you can just call one and say, please come and connect me a light in my house. He will just ask you, how much do you have? You say I have 5,000. They connect. When it was, say, a private company. Now that the government has nationalized it, what measure has the government put in place to control illegal connection and mismanagement in the company? Now we come now to look at the leadership of that board. First, Cameroon is being governed by two different entities, the East and the West Cameroon. Why are the two bodies not represented on that board? 3, the government is nationalizing Eneo. Is the government capable to decentralize the functioning of Eneo, or it will still be a central functioning system where for you to have Eneo in Menchum, you need to come and take presidential decree from Yaoundé? How effective will this new name, this new branding, change in the system. That is what I have looked at. I have studied it, and I see it as another maneuver, another hanking-panking of the system, just to give opportunity for some individuals to have food. Because all what they are doing here, it keeps on, it make Cameroonians, or just imagine now that when it was still as a private company, the transformer will get burned and it will take 6 months for it to be changed. Now that it has been nationalized, will the presidential decree be produced within 2 hours to change the transformer that has burned in my area in Jikwa? We need to look deeper into it.
Now, you got it, the different problems that have been working, because Nathan, my question is, why did the state choose to acquire 100% buyout instead of seeking a new technical partner with fresh capital to invest in Cameroon? Why did the state decide to buy the entire Enyo to become Socadel?
Mr. Abel, to be very frank with you, no matter the reason that they will give, be it economically or socially, I would like to let you know that they are very conscious that we have the potentials to handle this structure, these institutions. They are very conscious that we have the people who have the capacity to handle these things. That is why they had the bold mind of buying these things. So, but like my co-panelists have already said, they have analyzed a lot of things that I don't want to go back to. But my problem, I just want to tie it down to the fact that they should finally do something that will cause the people to clap for them. Let it not just be some sort of another form of masquerade that they are trying to create for them to steal money or whatsoever. Because it looks like in Cameroon, people always say that actions are stronger than words, but it seems as if in Cameroon words are becoming stronger than actions. They only say things, but now the deeds that have to be done for those things that they have spoken to be materialized are not being put in place. In other words, they are making us to understand that language has been created to cover the truth instead of bringing the truth to plain light. I don't want to add too much to what they have said, because they have really expanded on many other things, which I may be tempted to draw myself to. But there is a particular factor that I want to bring out here on this platform, Mr. Abel.
Okay.
In the past, we've been having a problem of an illegal connection of light and all the rest, and people have been complaining left and right about low voltage and all the rest. Those are the things that have been causing it. But we've discovered that these things have been done by agents from the same structure, and these agents are people who are suffering to cater for their family. They did not do it out of waywardness, but it's because of the working conditions they have been finding themselves in. Let me give you an instance. I've seen many of them who have been taken on contract, and for 6 months or a year they haven't touched any little pay. They only call them to come and do 1 or 2 things, and they let them go. And their manager keep promising them that in 6 months' time or in 2 months' time we're going to give you something. And these guys are obliged to come into the neighborhoods, into the suburbs, and create their own personal network of light supply to the local population, which the managers will not always be seeing the funds, because they themselves have decided not to pay the boys. So these guys create their own personal pay package out of it.
So you think that this with the coming of Socadel, we are still going to witness this fraud?
Mr. Abel, that is what we are waiting for. If these guys that they have been putting on contract, they decide to start paying them and putting them on regular salaries like it was in the days of Sonel, I think that these cases of illegal light connections and all the rest is going to greatly reduce, and we're going to start enjoying the resources we are having.
Jean-Baptiste, let me tell you this publicity page.
Il est 17h.
Le temps passe, mais ton crédit ne finit pas quand tu appelles les autres réseaux au même prix unique. Tape dièse 210.
Yes, we are back to the set. And my worry is when you look at the outgoing in you, you discover that it has been termed most time as one of the most corrupt sector that we have in this country. Why? Because of the illegal deals that goes on within our neighborhoods, especially those who come to connect the lights, those who come to correct the electricity. We always see that discrepancy in carrying out their duty, and we have equally noticed that this aspect is one of the bone of contention. One of the clauses of the contract signed is that the workers will still remain at the level of SONEL. There will be no layoff. Perhaps that is why the Deputy Director General of INYO was appointed the Director General of SOCADEL. But this hyper nature of corruption within the electricity sector, what do you think should be done to be able to make SOCADEL that dream company that a lot of Cameroonians need?
It's worth noting, as you said, that it was just a change of name, actually, because from the workers as well as from the top management, there is no substantial change in the personnel. The workforce is still the same, and we are still having the same people managing our electricity. So I think when we had to fight against corruption in this particular sector, it shouldn't only be a bottom affair. Corruption, I think, is not only an affair of INEO or SOCADEL, it's something that is more broad. But when you want to come back to the specific case of SOCADEL, I think fighting against corruption here will be an impulse coming from the leaders in themselves. They have to show an example. Do you know that when we pass through an audit of the then known the INEO, we see that the state of Cameroon was owing or is owing about 200 billion.
Yeah. People say 800 billion.
Yes, that's global.
800 billion of debt.
Of debts owed.
And
that
crumbling
is
infrastructure.
Yes. And the debt is on unpaid subsidies as well as unpaid bills. So when you already create this kind of conditions that doesn't favor the subsistence of the particular structure, the industry, it is but normal that they get stranded. And the consequence of getting stranded is that they don't pay their workers. And if they don't pay their workers, now the workers find different means in order to pay themselves, as the previous speaker was saying. And this actually favors conditions of corruption and all that. It's not. It's pathetic that there are many people still consuming electricity from let me say SOCADEL, but are not paying bills, making years without paying bills, and this energy being supplied.
So do you think that they will adhere to the decision of the ministers who are installing them, said that everybody should pay his bills?
Everybody,
and we know that Article 2 in this nation, there are some people who get free petrol bonds. There are some people who have free vehicles. There are some people who live in a free house. There are some people.
Mr. Ebel, we're
all these things are being put in the package of Article 2. Do you think that's the minister's decision to say everybody should pay his bill?
I hope it's not.
Will you not still come back to the common man?
I hope it's not just words. They're not just words. You know, some time back we were complaining that we're not able to organize election in our country because we didn't have money. But we give a lot of subsidies to a particular minority, that the governing class, we give them free housing, some of them free water, free electricity, and unfortunately they are the people who are trying to manage themselves in the quarters who are given the burden to pay the heavy bills of electricity. I think if we have to restore the sovereignty of INEO or SOCADEL, it starts with paying bills. I think the government needs to move towards a direction where they need to nullify or try to cancel all this kind of exception, which is costing a lot of money to the structure and to the state by consequence. I think if we stop, I think I don't need to enumerate those who are benefiting from that. There are quite a lot of them, and they are actually, even in terms of money, in terms of finance, it entails lots of billions yearly. And if this amount, and they don't lack what to pay. The quite unfortunate thing is that these are people who are giving subventions. Those people enjoying subventions are not the people who are unable to pay. They're actually having enough enough to pay. But it's quite unfortunate that they are the mamas who are struggling in the markets, who are trying, the bensikiners, who are trying to gain their livelihood, who are being given the task and the burden to be able to pay the bills. Absolutely. That is just a very absurd way of functioning. I think subsidies, if they had to be given, were to be given to those people who are unable to pay, those people who are unable to actually live. Those are the people to be enjoying subsidies, not those who are already benefiting and gaining their lives.
Yes, Fabrice. Let's take an example with the new. Let's just say, for example, the Minister Delegate of National Security, Minister Mbaranga Ngili, when he introduced the new system of ID card that is being produced today, who are those carrying the burden? Is the common man. Let's take, for example, that the other day I was complaining. I have a situation in Kumba where I registered my cousin and I sent him to Kumba Central Police Station to do the physical presence. Arriving there, they realized that the birth certificate, there was a mix up the information of the birth certificate and that on the form. There was some changes where there is a prenom on the birth certificate, on the form, it is known. So as we're filling it, we do not identify those changes. And those things are things that they correct them at the center before they produce the ID card.
So since the birth certificate is there?
Yes, since the birth certificate is there. But do you know that they asked him to pay 15,000 francs before that information could be changed? Coming back now again, I am still complaining on this issue because I want the Minister Mbaranga Ngili to go into the field and look at this situation.
Yes, we are talking about the
yes, this is an example.
Yes.
How do you think nationalizing the electrical company?
Yeah, because the question I'm asking is the appointment of former a new executive, like the present Director General, his assistant, a sign of continuity or a failure to bring in new bloods?
It is a failure because it is already indicating that it's a failure. But when you look at their name first, on the day they were being installed, we had two different information on the name of the company. In front of the General Director, it was Socatel. But on the public media, we know that it's Socadel. No, those are the two names.
Okay, Socatel.
There was Socatel and Socadel. That's already an indication that Cameroonians should be prepared because there will be trouble with electricity. Let everybody start looking for plan B. If you can have your touch, as a logo carry a bush lamp, if you can have your bush lamp, buy it and keep.
But
if you can have your solar, if you have money for solar,
they say the electricity.
Why can they not give leadership? Why is it possible? Why is it difficult?
We cannot talk about.
Why is it difficult for the Cameroon government to use new people in leadership?
Perhaps that is why the Cameroon government
they keep rotating on all people.
Perhaps it's giving back the opportunity for these people who knows the problem to be able to solve the problem.
Which know the problem that they created and left it, that they are coming back to meet the problem to aggravate the problem. Does it mean that new leadership cannot take over this country and run the country to the betterment? Was leader mandated to some particular sect of people in this country? Those are, they keep telling us that we are the leaders of tomorrow. Where is that position for us to lead the tomorrow?
Are you part of those who are
people who are supposed to be on retirement?
Part of those English Cameroonians who are saying that Socatel does not concern us because there is in the entire board.
There is no represented there. I remember when I was doing my introduction, I said there are two parties that are supposed to be on that table. If an Anglophone is not there, therefore means that.
But should we be basing our mind on the aspect that
we have to base our mind on that? We have to.
An entire board of electricity, the backbone of the economy.
No, it is necessary. This country is supposed to be governed by two separate people: the English-speaking region and the French-speaking people. That is it. There is supposed to be no office without these two people being represented. Now, if we start sidelining one party, it therefore means that we are indirectly telling them that we are beginning to build a future Cameroon without you people. So go and make your own country.
Are you not saying that the English people are asking too much?
No, what? No. They have the right. They are not asking. They are complaining. They are not asking because it is their right. Before the constitution was hijacked and the name changed from the federal government to the unitary government, it was a form of hijack. So they are telling them that we all came to this business to operate as equal people. We did not come for you to be ahead and then we are under you. And then I also blame the elites because the elites are hand clappers. They are then struggling to have what they will put in their stomach. None of them are raising anything. I applaud
the elites are doing everything. First of all, to stop the crisis in the northern and southwest region.
We have toothless.
What do you people actually want?
No, Mr. Abel, I would like to say something about that elites that he just spoke, because I think that the elites are not really representing the country. They are the custodians of the power that be of the country, which means that they are the ones who give these people the power to stand. But imagine that elites in the country will be fighting over 3 million francs that they collected from the president of the National Assembly to go and pay their hotel bills, and they are suing each other to court. But they are also elites.
They are talking about electricity.
But they are also elites. And they are the ones who gave the land for these structures to be built. They are the ones who even help them to know the in and out of the country, to know where to stand. All of this.
When you were talking about rice sharing, I was just embarrassed and ashamed to see that a nation like Cameroon will be looking at rice that Chinese is giving. Chinese is offering rice to Cameroon, and ministers who come and stand on TV to say Chinese has offered rice, and us, we Cameroonian, Africa in miniature. We are clamoring to eat rice that is coming from China. Tell me, what dignity do we have in this world as Africa in miniature? What has the government done to improve the economy first? Let's forget about electricity. Let's look at other sectors, because we know that electricity Soccer has come to make us suffer the more.
Mr. Fabrice,
I already know.
Mr. Fabrice, please.
I already know.
Mr. Fabrice, please. I just wanted to say,
we are here to propose idea on how Socadel can better manage the energy in the sector. You are already castigating them.
The best thing that the government wants to do, that the government can do now, let them decentralize power within Socadel. We don't want a situation where Njikwa will want light and then they come to take presidential decree in Yaoundé before they can sell light in Njikwa.
But the text said that.
Let them say decentralize.
The text said that the power of control will be in Douala, and it is from Douala that other decisions will be taken. So obviously, what you are saying will happen.
We only hope that
Douala must approve.
We know our country. We know our country, Cameroon, because those who will be put there, they will use it as an opportunity. They will see it as a privilege, not as a duty, because now they are going to use it as a political score settling. These are our elites. Once they will be struggling to gain some seats in their various constituency, they will start telling you that vote me, I will give you light. Light is not an opportunity. Light is a right. Those are basic amenities that the government is supposed to provide to the citizens. So the governor has given those people the opportunity to start using it as a means to exploit the people and intimidate them. Yes. We don't want that. The government should set a committee, a commission that will do check and balances to check the workers, to check the availability and the distribution of the electricity, and the government to ensure that before the Operation Emergence 2035, every village in this nation, Cameroon, should have electricity. Okay. That is when we can start applauding the government for a step taking.
Mr. Abel, yes, I think that Mr. Fabrice is totally right, but I just wanted to get a little bit out of what you were saying about Socadel and just land a little bit on that rice issue. I just wanted to say that this issue about distributing rice in the country, for everybody that thinks very well, if we want to talk about it, it's going to cause people to cry, because this country is having enough fertile ground to grow rice, and we have the new rice that the DOP rice that we are no more seeing it.
Maybe just because of the crisis, start thinking of their own rice.
Just because of the crisis that is going on that way. Because if the crisis wasn't there, we would have still be enjoying the rice from DOP. So I think that when we start talking about things like this, it makes us to feel like the powers that be are not ready to settle these issues of Anglophone crisis, and it really wounds our heart and makes us to have bad memories about the country or about this situation that is going on. So I would just like to say that instead for us talking about those issues, let us just simply ask them to do things right and stop pretending to do them while not doing it.
Now, let me come. Thank you so very much. Let me come to you. When we lost Sonel to AES Sonel, World Bank said that there is a lot of bureaucracy. Sonel was not producing like an industry, like an enterprise would produce. Instead, it was swinging in money from the states. So that is why they needed to give it to a private person that will force people to come to work, that will be able to control the services, engage in the production and the generation of income. But why installing this pioneer executive? They were given 100 days performance, a 100 days performance as of the date of installation, for them to be able to change the situation. With the Cameroonian mindset that it is raining, I don't need to go to work at 7:30. With the Cameroonian mindset where we see people abandoning offices at 1 p.m. to be able to go to the different mortuaries, we all live in Yaoundé, we know. Do you think that Socadel will succeed in this 100 days mission?
You know, the problem of in Cameroon, the problem of leadership is actually, or let me say, workforce is actually coming from the leadership, the impulse given by the leader. I think if we want to reform the mindset of Cameroonian workers, we need to put leaders who will not only give ultimatums or mere words, but those leaders who preach by example. If, let me take a practical example, if the new general manager of Eneo says that everybody should arrive the office at 7 a.m. every day, and he is the first person to be there to check on that, not delegating somebody to do so. He's the first person to check on
if
that.
If he's doing it at headquarters, will he be succeed to do it in the regions?
No, he will better know. You need to start somewhere. You need to start somewhere. He will be able to, first of all, impulse that rigor and that way of working to his close collaborators, and by extension, he will see those people who will be able to represent that same impulse in the different headquarters of the structure nationwide. I think it should be coming the impulse, that dynamism needs to be given from the top. Those leading should lead by example. I think if we, I was very elated. I was happy when the current president of the Football Federation took power. I think he took some kind of measures. He was very strict on that, and I think gradually the workers understood that there was the change of way of doing. There is a new way of doing, and they adapted themselves. I think now administratively things are going on smoothly, relatively smoothly. That's
so the 100 days can be succeed. Only if it is well been planned and been managed.
It's well planned and it is preached by example. And those who are giving the orders should actually show the example by being there and set clear and attainable goals that everybody should be aware of that, and there should be attached consequences if they failure to meet up to those expectations. They gave them 100 days. Yes, after the 100 days, was there any sanction attached to that particular ultimatum or those deadlines? I'm not sure they were.
So if after the 100 days, if Socadel failed to deliver, they should sanction them.
There should be a
maybe
sanction.
change the administration.
For example,
that will open the eyes of other workers to be able to sit up.
Yes, that they are not mere words. These are things that when we say, we do. And that should not only be limited in Socadel. I think that kind of leadership should be diffused throughout our governing bodies, throughout all the structures of our republic, because there's lot of laxism in our government, especially government structures, and this is actually bringing the country downwards and downwards and downward. I think unfortunately the dynamism should be impulsed from up. When I say up, I say top up. And this top-up influence can actually be necessary to bring up reorganize our sectors and bring more dynamism in our public structure sector, especially.
Now, Fabrice, one of the bone of contention has always been, I want us to talk about the finance at the level of Eneo to Socadel. One of the bone of contention has always been the cry of the common man that light is being scheduled, but still yet the bill does not change. And there are some people who even complain that sometimes you don't see those who are doing meta reading comes to collect the reading, but you see the bill. Well, what should Socadel be able to do as he inherit this particular problem?
As Socadel inherit this particular problem, the first thing I'll recommend them to do is to stop the aspect that citizens must buy metals. Why are Cameroonians buying? Can I call it a new metals or Socadel metals? Why are we paying for metals? Are they our properties? The procedure, first of all, to acquire a metal is a very lengthy one. At the end of the day, you just decide. You see the new people, them Socadel workers themselves just come and give you light first to be managing. Those are some of the challenges we have. Let the authority that be first eliminate and free the citizen from buying metals. It is your property. When the citizen come and apply, it is your duty to come and give them metal, as you are the one coming to check. Secondly, concerning the bill, I will also propose that there should be a high production of prepaid metals compared to the analog ones. They should make the possibility that all citizens should have the prepaid to avoid mismanagement of funds. I think that is the only recommendation I can give you there.
I think this SMS coming from Franklin Wanchi. Good afternoon, Abel, and to your panelists. The only solution to Cameroon light development is that we must go back to the colonial days or to the post-independent period. Take, for example, in the southwest region, we have our electricity generated from our Yoke Dam. We equally have other regions where they have water, and from there we can generate our electricity. If we don't decentralize the electricity, we are going to have load schedules. And I think Socadel should start to think of how to develop more dams so that the aspect of load shedding can be able to cut off. That is coming from Franklin Wanchi. We will go back to the days of the Yoke Dam, to the days of the Lac Dam, create some of these other dams from these different rivers to be able to reduce the load shed.
I think he has a point. But the question will always come back to the authorities that are governing that structure. How serious are they going to function in the light of those ideas that have been given? Because it's good for us to give opinions, and it's good for them to be taken down, and it's good for instructions to be given, but then how serious would they be applied in the field?
But do you think it's possible for Socadel, given the fact that it's coming in with already inherited debts of close to 800 billion francs?
Mr.
Do you
Abel,
think that it is possible for them to meet this infrastructural development, for them to be able to carry out this aspect?
It is very, very possible, Mr. Abel. It is very, very possible. The state has money, and if the state is buying it, the state is capable of handling everything that is there. It is very possible. They look at the money that they allocate for the allowances of ministers, of MPs, and all the rest. If they decide to make, let me just say, a 10% or 20% cut down of all of those stuffs to solve that issue, we are going to be moving to somewhere. So I think that there isn't any problem about financial issue there. The problem there should be the authorities that they have put in place to handle this stuff. How serious are they? What are the checks that they are putting in place for things to go on the way it's going to benefit the local man? That is the problem we're having.
Do you think that with this inherited debt that Socadel just got from Enyo, would they be held responsible to be able to settle some of those small and medium-sized enterprises who so far have lost a lot when it comes to the load shedding in Cameroon?
Well, as we rightly established in the beginning, there is only a change of name. Actually, these are the same people who were managing Eneo that will be having the responsibility to manage the Socadel, and unfortunately, they are going to inherit all the loopholes and all the consequences borne by Eneo. So what is supposed to be, I think what is supposed to be done in this particular sector is to try to evaluate alternate measures to actually produce electricity and make sure that all the households as well as industries are actually benefiting from that. If the present state of affairs, that is, if the present way of managing the present infrastructures, the present philosophy, if I can say, used that was actually inherited by Eneo has proved to be ineffective, a new form could actually be adopted, and this form could be maybe a decentralization of the electric energy supply system. We could give it's quite unfortunate, let me just branch there. It's quite unfortunate that the budget allocated to the different municipalities is not actually very sufficient. I would say if they were supported enough, every municipality could be given enough tools, that is finance, to look for measures to curb the different energy possibilities in their own constituency.
So electricity management should come to the councils.
It's possible. It's quite possible due to the diversity. The diversity of our country. In the north, for example, solar energy could be used to actually power many localities. We should not only be waiting and expecting for orders from Yaoundé in order to have our development. I don't know why this particular we preach decentralization. We actually forecast decentralization, but in actuality, in reality, we are not giving the means to these people managing the different constituencies to actually develop the people. It's normal. It's possible. I want to say it's possible for each constituency to develop mechanisms and ways to develop an electrical system in their own constituency that will actually feed their local population, and we will not have to wait and expect from for a dam maybe situated thousands of kilometers away to supply electricity in our own locality. I think if the present government really want to change the things, if we really want to give some hope through Socadel, a new way of doing could be introduced, and this way could actually be the way of decentralizing energy supply and giving the possibility to municipalities to produce electricity. And that possibility should be in terms of finance as well. They should be equipped and well equipped to be able to bring up this kind of projects. We were talking some while ago, we were talking about the aspect of leadership and corruption. I had the occasion to study in the country, that is in Tanzania, where I did my university studies, where it was in the era of John Pombe Magufuli, who unfortunately died during the COVID period. This is a leader that came in a period where all East Africans were looking at Tanzanians as lazy people, and he came up with another philosophy, hapa kazi tu, here only work.
What does that mean?
Hapa kazi tu is a Swahili word that means here only work.
Okay.
And he actually incarnated that particular philosophy. And let me tell you, the only the short period of his mandate, he was able to reform.
Everybody saw it.
He reformed it in such a way that all the East Africans were already looking at Tanzania as a model. I think the lukewarmness of our leaders is a high factor that actually leads to the state of affairs, the present state of affairs. I think there should be a change, and that change should not only be a change of name. For example, Eneo to Socadel, it should be a change of philosophy, a change of way of doing, a change of leadership that will actually impact the people down.
Do you think that such thing can apply in Cameroon?
It's quite possible.
Work and only work.
It's quite possible.
Looking at our cultural heritage, where we like popular holidays and all the like.
I told you that in Tanzania it was the state of affairs. That's how we looked at Tanzanians. Those people would like relaxing. They would get up at 9 o'clock and then they go to work at 11 o'clock and come back at 3 p.m. That's how it was. But when he came up with that philosophy of hapa kazi tu, and let me tell you that there was a tremendous change in the way the Tanzanians were behaving. And I think that is what is needed there. And it should be a top to bottom impulse. And it should start by the person and the persons leading this country. Then only we can regain that sovereignty, that indomitability that we claim to have. I think there is a major work to be done, and it can be done starting by the different constituency coming up, or it could be done by having leaders at the topest level of our country who really incarnate that desire to bring Cameroon, make Cameroon great again.
Very important. I like that Swahili word, haba. We need those type of slogans in Cameroon. Maybe we'll be able to change situation. But Fabrice, I will move to you. We already have Socader that is there. We already know that the company is heavily indebted and they need to pay it. We have all that is being surrounded. If we want to propose a 100-day solution to the problem of electricity in Cameroon, where should we start from? The layoff of workers, the bringing in of new blood, the bringing in of slogans like what our brother just said. How can we fix the Cameroon electricity?
I think, like my brother here rightly said, the first way to go first is the change of policy. Let them look at the policy. What is not working? What is working? Secondly, we decentralize. I don't know why the government of Cameroon is so concentrated is so interested with a centralized system. And that centralized system is what is really killing the nation, Cameroon. Decentralization actually exists on papers, but it is not being practiced. All these offices that we have them there, the regional president, the chief of this, all those offices are just a shadow of themselves. They have no impact. We should avoid having offices without duties, because if we want to ask those offices that are created, what are the duties? Even the new board that has been appointed to manage Socader, what are their duties? Because at the end of the day, we are going to have people that earn salaries without doing anything. Citizens will still cry. The people will still cry. Transformers will burn. It will take 6 months for one transformer to be changed. Electricity will sit in a particular environment. No matter how much you will complain, nobody will listen from you. They will tell you that the president has not yet signed a decree for that to be fixed. The workers will take advantage over the situation and start mismanaging the domain, doing illegal connections here and there. If a commission is not created to go and do check and balances related to what is going on in the field, let the government start working with the people, not with some individuals, because Cameroon does not belong to some individuals. It belongs to us all. So I think that's a proposal I can give. Now, as for their debt, I do not know how the debt came about, but as the president has made us to believe that to succeed as a Cameroonian, you must be a debtor, because even the government lives on debt. So that debt is not surprising to them, because every day the president signs decrees that warrants loans. So I believe that if they want to pay that debt, it is nothing to them, because just a few days ago he signed a decree of how many billions. Just that billions can be able to pay whatever debt he knew he has left behind for Socader. So I do not see that debt like a challenge. Rather, I see the management like a challenge if effectiveness is not applied in the field.
Yes. What are you proposing? The 100 days for us to have smooth electricity in this country?
Mr. Abel, I think that we'll come back to the fact that that 100 days is uncalled for. Why? Because we already know that it is almost the same staff that are working for NEO that has been transferred into the Socader. So then we already know their performances. We've already seen over the years what they have been doing. So why giving them 100 days? Just wipe them off and bring some new blood with a new mentality, with a new dynamism, and giving them 100 days. That one is going to put a little bit of pressure on them to prove their worth. You can't be giving somebody 100 days trial in something that you know that it is their thing. You just change the name. Doesn't make any sense. I don't think that we have any reason to think anything about it.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I think that coming again on this issue of solving their debts, I will go back to the same thing that my brother Fabrice just said. I think that, like I also earlier said, solving those debts is not a problem. They can sign many. Even in the National Assembly, they are missigning them. They are still going to sign. and we are going to continue living. And if we want to solve it while people are paying their bills, we are still going to solve it.
Okay.
Even without signing any debt or any credit.
Thank you so very much. Let me get your opinion, because we are moving from this subject to be rounding up with our second topic. What do you think should be done?
I think more than a change of name from Eneo to Socadel, we need to have a new impulse. I've been saying it.
Yeah.
And it needs to be a patriotic one. We need to understand that a shortage of electricity is actually jeopardizing the growth of our economy, and it makes it impossible, quite impossible for our products to be transformed, and it makes us always rely on exporting our raw materials outside. And if we need to have an industry that promotes homemade facilities, homemade commodities, we need to be able to develop our industry, and development of industry should pass through a stability in electricity. So we really exhort those who have been given that delicate task to actually sit up and make sure, and the thing is, the good thing is that they know exactly what to be done, because they have been there for years, and they know exactly that, for example, the Nachtigal Dam,
that the people are angry.
The Nachtigal Dam is able to produce about 420 megawatts, and this 420 megawatts, about 40% of this is lost due to a poor transport system. Yeah. So they know that the priority could be maybe to try to change those pillars who are made up of wood, and they are not able not yet or not more sufficient, and use concrete ones or
infrastructural development,
locally made materials. And this could be a way to actually ensure that the supplies from these different dams, not only the Nachtigal Dam, reaches the destination. And if it is done, I think we will be going a long way. Even before the 100 days given, we'll be enjoying a change.
Thank you so very much for talking this. But before we move out, I want us to talk about the National Assembly in Cameroon. And you people are politicians. Let us take this bit of transition. We'll come back.
Topics and realities. Every Saturday on Royal FM. A weekly program brought to you by the English desk of Royal FM.
And thank you so very much. One of Cameroon's longest speaker, the Right Honorable Kavaye Djibril, passed out this week. What legacy do you retain of this man who held Cameroon National Assembly at one of the most difficult moments in a political career? The advent of multipartyism in 1990, when he came in 1992, he was made the speaker. The Anglophone crisis passed towards him. At least he has gone through one of the most challenging periods. What legacy do you have? Let me begin with Nathan.
Okay.
Who should take the floor first?
Let me just say something.
Okay.
I don't really think there is any serious legacy that he has left behind.
How can you say?
Frankly speaking, because if you want to talk about legacy, there should be crisis in the country that the parliament has come in and voted laws and debated on it and placed it in front of the population or in front of the country or in front of the presidency for them to reject it by oath instruction or not. For us to understand that they are working, but frankly speaking, what we've only been experiencing are only budgets that have been voting over the years and constantly repeating itself for projects that are supposed to be carried out that have never been accomplished. Recently, the Minister of I think Transport was withdrew the contract they gave to the Chinese and the I think it should be the Tunisians or Moroccans, because for years now the roads that
to complete the road project.
Okay, now what has the parliament done about all of these unfinished projects or all of these suspended projects for which they voted budgets over the years? Do you see the
parliament as that too powerful to be able to resolve these things?
They are the lawmakers.
We live in a parliamentary system where absolute power comes from the executive, and before you take in an initiative, somebody needs to.
It is because they have decided to become people who only say yes to anything that is given to them, and because they are doing it because the people to whom they are saying yes had a major role in they being where they are, and in addition to that, they are saying that yes because they think more of themselves than the country. And I think that if he himself, he wanted to leave a legacy behind him, would have started thinking about the people before imposing certain things. Because if we are also suffering from this crisis today, is because the parliament that he was heading never really sat down to talk out things on this issue and put pressure on the country to.
There was a major national dialogue organized by the
Mr. Abel.
Discuss about it.
Mr. Abel, let me just tell you something.
Yes.
This crisis we are facing is a major thing that if he had solved it before leaving, would have said that he left some sort of a legacy.
Not the head of state, he's just the speaker of the National Assembly.
The parliament has the power to bring the head of state to reasoning. They have the power to rebuke the head of state. They have the power to contradict the attitude of the head of state.
They gave the floor for people like Wiba to talk.
Yeah, they gave the floor, but they were never taken into consideration. He was seated there as the head of the parliament, but what did he do?
Okay, that is your opinion. Yes, Jean-Baptiste.
Thank you very much. I would first of all like to take the opportunity to extend my heartfelt condolence.
Thank you so very much.
The family of the former speaker, Honorable Kabayige Jibril.
Yeah.
May his soul rest in peace.
Thank you so very much.
Talking about his legacy, I'll first of all actually credit the fact that he is an example of an MP as the regime wants it to be. That is the current regime. I think by the fact that he successfully made in such a way that the parliament is working hand in hand with the administrative authorities, and he successfully failed to guarantee the independence of the legislative powers. You know, we are supposed to actually see a difference between the administrative power, the legislative power, and the judiciary power. And one of the persons who were actually very instrumental in making sure that it is not actually guaranteed to a certain extent was the previous speaker. And we just need to see on how the different, if you need to evaluate how many bills actually came up from the parliament and as a
to the private member bill,
and yes, and we're actually adopted.
But he has always said that nobody proposed. But parliamentarians don't propose private member. That is his argument.
I think as a leader,
that is his argument.
He was as a leader of this
he needs to call the parliamentarians and send me bills.
No, as a leader, I would speak. As a leader of this very...
I brought this because you people are aspiring leaders, especially towards the parliament.
Exactly. Actually, as a leader of this very, very critical, prestigious house, you need to be able to create atmosphere, conducive atmosphere to make the people do the work for which they were elected for. You know, they have two principal let me say work or expectation. They need to regulate government activities, as well as vote for bills which are aimed at ameliorating the conditions of the people that elected them. But we need to see what has been transpiring in the parliament. We can actually say without risk of being tempted as liars that this has been very far from what is expected.
Do you mean to say that the bills from our parliament is not a reality?
I would say many of those bills have not been always to the best interest of Cameroonians, and has always served the best interest of a particular political party or the regime that's supposed to be there. And we just need to take the example of other countries. I like taking an example of other countries in order to see where we are failing.
Yes,
you need to see what happened in Senegal.
Okay.
Just some few weeks ago, where the parliament was able to vote a law that was limiting the powers of the president to certain domains.
Can I take this caller first before coming to you? Hello.
Yeah, bonsoir, Dendela.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Oui, je m'excuse, je ne sais pas très bien parler anglais, mais je veux dénoncer quelque chose que je viens de voir là.
Yeah, go ahead. What is the name?
Notre autoroute Yaoundé.
The name, please.
Veut se casser.
Ah?
Oui, notre autoroute Yaoundé Simalène veut se casser. Les gens ont creusé tout le long de l'autoroute. Yaoundé Simalène, ils disent qu'ils veulent mettre le câble.
Ok.
Et puis, avant l'arrivée du pape, l'autoroute est en train de se casser avec le pluie. C'est ce que je voulais dénoncer.
Okay, we got your complaint. But I know that it was making the speak bridge was removed for easy passage of the Pope, my brother. Maybe the government will put it back. Let us just be patient with the government. Yeah, you were saying something.
Yes, I was saying.
You're saying that the autoroute is getting bad.
Well, he's just giving an example.
He's just giving his own worry
of an example of what is concrete on the field. So I was saying that we need to work. Take the example of other parliaments.
You were citing the case of Senegal.
In Senegal, where the parliamentarians were able to vote laws that actually restricted the intervention of the president into certain domains. And that is clearly actually brings up the differences between the administrative power and the legislative power. They have their own power. If they keep on acting
but recently
as,
we saw our parliament, the Congress, if you have to put it, also putting on a certain law to be able to bring a certain rules under control and creating a post of the vice president.
Well, it's actually very needless to actually debate on that. The solution.
No, we are not debating on it. We're just looking at.
Yes. Well, we were talking about the legacy of Honorable Kabayege Jibril, and we have I actually started by crediting him of being the parliamentarian par excellence as per the vision of the party, and maybe that guarantees why he was given the longevity that he enjoyed in as the Speaker of the National Assembly.
Because you understand some of those principles. And perhaps I think, if you were there, you could have also understand some of those principles.
And I think that we need to actually learn from that in order not to make the same mistakes, and that is actually a call to come. Let me just use the opportunity to call the Cameroonians to massively actually get registered in the electoral list, so that when time comes,
I always love when politicians reach this point of getting registered massively.
They go in and vote, and they vote for a difference, vote for a change. We need to see a parliament that actually represents the people, that actually speaks the mind of the people, that could actually speak and denounce what our brother the caller is just from saying in the where it's supposed to be debated in the National Assembly, and vote for laws that will be able to regularize this kind of situation. Unfortunately, we have not yet witnessed a parliamentary debate that actually talks about things that are pertinent to Cameroonians, that have been denounced by Cameroonians, and that will impact positively the life of Cameroonians. And I'm very sure that in February 2027, Cameroonians are going to elect those people that will really do the great job they are actually waiting for. And we call on them for massive registration electoral list, so that we may be able to take control of the National Assembly and actually vote for the people and vote for the change, laws that actually favor the change, that will be suitable to actually create conditions for the emergence of Cameroonians and make Cameroonians great again, and make our indomitability a reality.
Work and nothing else than work.
Exactly.
That is the philosophy, that you brought from Tanzania for us. Yes, we are talking the National Assembly and the legacy of the rights Honorable Kabayege Jibril. What should he be remembered for?
Well, first of all, I pay my condolence to his family.
Okay.
He's dead and gone. And it's only one lesson that we have learned, that nothing lasts forever. Even those of us who are aspiring for leadership, we know that one day we'll quit the stage. But what matters most is to discover when to quit the stage. First, I will criticize his death, because he has made us to believe that a retirement age in Cameroon now.
No, it's an elective age.
Death certificate.
No, it's an elective age.
No, retirement age.
He was elected into. He did not.
Retirement age in Cameroon now is death certificate.
How can you
the
say
day
that?
Your death certificate is declared, that's the day you're retired.
How can you
that's
say that?
That's one thing I learned from this government.
How can you say that? People go for retirement, they will still stay for longer period, they contribute to the development of the country.
Second thing I learned from his leadership
is that not too hard, Fabrice?
He ruled the country for 34 years.
He ruled the parliament.
And Yes, ruling the parliament is ruling the country.
How can you say that? He's not the president of the republic.
He ruling the parliament.
You can say like that.
Ruling the country.
You can say like that. A child listening to us.
Crisis still persists today.
You can say like that. A child listening to us will say that he was the president of the republic. Let us take the facts.
All those who have died as a result of the Anglophone crisis will hold him accountable.
No, you can't say that. No, you cannot say that.
Because he stood against this.
No, he did not stand against.
Deliberated in parliament.
No, he did not stand against.
That is the achievement of.
No, he did not stand against. He gave the lead way, and that is why we see people like.
The fourth aspect I have learned about Kaba Yege Dribi is that.
Will you agree that
his name remains history for being the national?
Fabrice, do you agree?
Fabrice, the National Assembly for 34 years, and children will face GCE this year because most of them are not yet aware that the name has changed.
Okay, Fabrice, do you believe that he gave that platform for people like the Wiba to be able to talk in parliament?
He given a platform is not taking concrete measures to.
But giving is something.
He did not. He tried. When all of us bear witness to what transpired in parliament that day, he did everything possible to stop Wiba from talking. He said it will be over his dead body that the Anglophone crisis will be discussed in parliament. And we believe now that with the coming up of the new leader, we are going to see that discussed in parliament and things are going to have another change.
Yeah, thank you so very much, Fabrice. Thank you so much for your understanding. Thank you for the humor you are struggling to put. But we know that teachers in schools have done a lot of work to be able to tell the children, like you are saying, that the new speaker of the National Assemblies is still there. That who is the new speaker. And also, we should not also condone the fact that he has also been remembered for one of the other positive issues. I know you are politicians who always like to drag the blanket to be able to reach where it precises you. And I think, gentlemen, thank you both very much for coming. This is where we put an end to this program, Topics and Realities for today. Next Saturday will be in another opportunity for us to be able to talk about boiling issue in our country. Joining me in the studio is my own Jean-Marie Annaba. Good evening to you. Bonsoir, Jean-Marie Annaba.
Good evening.